For the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Speaker, to the Minister of Finance, what does he consider to be the main strategic changes required to the economy that Budget 2011 will address?
The Honourable Bill English.
Speaker, I'm pleased to see the members back from his parachute packing class.
Order. Now order. No. Order. Order. I'm on my feet and the House will be silent. Now that was just an unacceptable way to commence the answer to a perfectly fair question. The question is absolutely fair question. And order. What a good idea that the opposition has just gained an extra supplementary question. I'll make the record 226, is it? 25.
Speaker,
the Honourable Bill English.
Number 4. Mr. Speaker, the main strategic choices around this economy for this budget are the same as they've been for the previous two budgets, which is to rebalance the economy away from debt-financed consumption and housing speculation to savings, exports and investment.
The Honourable David
Speaker,
Cunliffe.
If the main challenge is the same as the previous two budgets, will the prescription be the same, namely further cuts to superannuation pre-funding and unaffordable tax cuts overwhelmingly directed to people who don't need them?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the prescription in the first budget was to get hold of public finances which were at the time out of control because of the stewardship of the previous government, and combined with the effects of the global recession. Last year the focus was on changing our tax mix to get the incentives in the economy right, favouring savings and investment over consumption, and this time the focus is going to be on building savings and getting the government in particular to control its own borrowing and spending so it can contribute to national savings.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Does the Minister stand by his recent earlier statement that the centrepiece of Budget 2011 would be to promote savings? And if so, does he agree with the member sitting next to him that the best idea the government can come up with is reversing the cut to the default contribution that they themselves made not a year ago?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I do. I agree with what the Prime Minister says. This budget has got a focus on getting the basics of the government's finances in order. I think actually the New Zealand public understand that. They are concerned that, for instance, over the last 12 months we will have ended up averaging borrowings of 380 million a week. That's far too high and must change.
Mr. Speaker.
Chris Tremaine.
My supplementary is to the Minister of Finance. What other strategic changes are required for the economy which will be addressed in Budget 2011?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there's a number of benefits we hope will flow from, not just from this budget, but the accumulation of the last two, lifting growth back onto a stable path, reverse the decline in productivity, which is a critical component of economic growth, and higher incomes, to help revive the export sector, which actually shrank through the latter part of the last decade, and to redirect government resources in a way that is much more effective.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr. Speaker, does the Minister agree with Stephen Joyce that, quote, KiwiSaver is a pyramid scheme, and will he be offering Mr. Joyce lessons in the basics of finance so he can learn the difference, or has that job already been done by Dr. Brash?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Joyce, in his usual very insightful way, was referring to the phenomenon where the government borrows money off Asian central banks and pension funds in Europe, puts that into individual KiwiSaver accounts, and we call it savings. Borrowing is not saving.
Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable
The
David
Minister,
Cunliffe.
with the best of intentions, may have misheard the question. It was referring to KiwiSaver, not the New Zealand Superannuation Fund. He didn't therefore address the question.
The member's question was a pretty provocative sort of a question, and the nature of that question is never going to get a precise answer. Point of order, the Honourable...
With respect, the member's question was putting a quote from Mr Joyce about KiwiSaver, and the Minister did not address KiwiSaver at all.
Order.
That's not provocative.
Order. I'll undertake for the member. I'll check the Hansard, but I'm fairly certain there was more than just the quote from the Honourable Stephen Joyce in that question. Question number 5, Dr. Russell.